He's back. All right, I was just doing a commercial.
Perfect. Hopefully you get sponsored by them. I'll be upset with that.
Yeah, we'll be like, look,
Hire me for a job.
in order for us to accept you as our sponsor, we're gonna need a few things to sample.
Yeah,
So sorry. Maybe we'll even make a pilgrimage to your brewery and do one of our episodes in the brewery, you know, if we have to. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Alizarin Cafe. And today we are on site at a special place known as Moose Tree here in Lake Orion, Michigan. I'm Eugene Clark, your host, and I have a very special guest, the one, the talented Simon Falkenburg. Falkenburg. And so we're going to learn a little bit about Simon today as we dive into this episode of our Alizarin Cafe. Now, I was telling Simon that the word alizarin comes from a color that we use when we're painting. It's called alizarin crimson, and it's sort of a purplish red. And what we learned about this color is that it's organic. It comes from a plant called the madder plant, and it actually comes from the roots. So in understanding the organic nature of this color and the richness of this purplish red, it just kind of led me to want to use it as the title for this program because I enjoy the fact that right now we're going to have an organic conversation. So, hello, Simon Falkenburg. How are you?
Good. How are you, buddy?
Awesome. It's great to have you here in Moose Tree, and we're drinking something that Simon provided for the show. This is a Founders Brewery. They are our sponsor today. And so they're sponsoring this episode. And this is a Scotch ale. So it's really got like a nice flavor to it. It's got a little bit of a kick, a little bit more alcohol per bottle than your typical beer. So cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. So, you know, you and I met at the Atelier in Royal Oak when I was teaching an anatomy class, an artistic anatomy class, and you were one of the students in that class. And it went for about 6 months. It was about a 6-month class. How did you feel about taking a class that lasted that long? And had you taken any other class of that length ever before?
It was more than 6 months. I think it was 7 or 8 because it started in January and I think ended August.
Oh, yeah. I got to do better. That's why I went into art. Because
numbers are not a thing.
Yeah, numbers are not my thing. So it went a little bit longer than 6 months, but had you taken any classes of that duration before?
Not in art, no.
Okay, so how did it feel to submerge yourself in a class like artistic anatomy and have that length of time to really, you know, sort of hone in on the subject matter?
It was great. I mean, it was such work on you. It's like it's smaller sections, smaller classrooms, a lot more one-on-one time. It kind of, we saw today is like people that want to get more, they want to scrape out more. They come ask questions, they work on things, they show you things. It's getting that opportunity is what I like with classes like this. You know, it's getting to work with an actual private artist that he's been in the industry for a long time, has his skill unmatched, and teaching an anatomy class, like, cool. Hey, why has this been like this? Oh, it's because of this. It's great.
So the one-on-one factor when you're in a university, let's just say like the University of Michigan, and maybe you're in the business school, which is really popular. And so there's a lot of students. So therefore there's going to be classes that are going to have quite a few people in there.
Yeah.
You know, not 10 or 12 people, but probably maybe more like 50 or more people. You're not really going to have access to the professor in the same way. So that it was appealing to you.
Oh, massively. I mean,
I'll drink to that.
That was a big part of it. It's like, well, that's why I still work with Andrew at the Atelier because it's one-on-one. We like, I feel bad when he gets paid by head that comes in class, and I'm like, the days are just like me and one other person. I'm like, yes, get to have 50% of his time.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, trying to squeeze that out as much as you can, and then getting teachers that are also actively engaged. They're just not running through, oh, yeah, do this, do A, then B, then C. You know, when I come at it with a weird question, you know, like we were talking about the hand today, and stuff like that. Like trying to figure out the fingers, the depth, and also like, oh no, no, don't even bother with that. Do this. Ah, it's like this, and we started playing with a few things here and there. And it's like it led to that sketch you did, like of a non-existent live model, and then cutting the
Cross section.
cross section. It was like that cleared up so many things for me that I didn't know I was going to learn something.
I love that. I love that. Well, what I think is great when you're in small classes, like the class. So right now, you're my assistant for the current artistic anatomy class that we're doing here at Moose Tree in this space. And having you here after being in the previous class, it really is comforting for me to think that any of the students that go over to because they have a question, I know that you're going to be able to give them great information because you've been through all this. And, feasibly, you have more of a knowledge of the subject than any person in here because you've taken the class. So I know that. But, we have 10 people in here. And so you as the assistant, part of the deal that we worked out is for you to also have the opportunity to be a student in the class when you have questions and when you want to, work from the skeleton or the lectures or any of the stuff, access any of it. That's part of the deal. And so it's great to, like you said, have conversations off the cuff when something pops into your head that you're working on. Because you said, today I'm going to tackle hands. So you started doing it. We found some paper, a big piece of paper, and you just jumped in and you started drawing all different views. And luckily, our good friend Diane was holding her hand in all the different positions. And, for those of you that are our viewers, one of the things that we love to talk about in a learning process, if you want to learn about drawing, is your hand is a great subject matter if you're trying to do representational work. So, I remember being given that as something to think about when I was in middle school. The local high school teacher that my mom took my sketchbook over to, and he's like, I like all your cartoons, but have you ever tried drawing something from life? And I'm like, no. And then he said, well, draw your hand. And it was the perfect antidote for giving me a complex subject matter that wasn't, like something like your face, which is a whole nother thing. But your hand could be so expressive. Would you agree with that?
Oh yeah, I mean, it's always something you have there too. Like we were talking about earlier. Like when I'm looking at something, I'm like looking at the form, like, okay, so that's the muscle they're looking over here. Okay, that's why I have like that's bent here. That's why that's flexed. It's like it's that thing that not freaked me out. It was weird when I first moved here, born in Michigan. It was like, yeah, so we're right here. Like, the fuck do you mean? I'm not on your hand.
Yes, we've got our own map of the Lower Peninsula. Those of you that might be viewing this in a different state, you got to know that when you come from Michigan, we always carry a map of our state, at least for the Lower Peninsula. Now, if we want to do the Upper Peninsula, we got to go like east. All right, but that doesn't happen too often. So, but if you're someone like Simon, who's a transplant, now I know that you own a place in Hawaii. So that is something that you've shared with me, but I'm learning that you're not from Hawaii. So where are you from?
Born and raised North Carolina.
North Carolina, one of my favorite all-time places. My family has sort of adopted that as like our second love for where we want to travel. And part of it is because of the ruby mines. Now, did you have any experience growing up going to those ruby mines?
I couldn't tell you. I remember my dad would always take me to like gemstone panning. You would get huge swatches.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
We just call it ruby mines.
I remember, yeah, it's stuff like that. I mean, like,
Yeah, you have all the dirt and then
Yeah.
it's got all the things, but you can't see them until you put them in and you run them through the water.
yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So you remember that?
oh yeah, that was like, I remember me and my dad doing that, you know, finding stones here, stones there. And the freaking dad joke he always hit me with, I was like, hey dad, what's this? He's always leave it there. It's like, leave it right there. Go to the next one.
Leave it there. It's a very rare stone. It's called leavathere. Oh, wow. Look, I found some leavathere. Yeah, that means leave it right there. Because we're not taking it home. You have like 30 of them. And they're worth nothing. You know, sometimes you can actually find, you know, I think they purposely in those big buckets, when you pay $40, you're gonna get a couple actual real deal,
Oh yeah.
whatever, a ruby or something like that, but it's gonna be like this big, microscopic.
Well, I know like they'll have them and they'll one of them was a geo kind of thing. Like you had to cut the actual dirt and everything around it. 'Cause I have some at home. My parents, my mom didn't get rid of them. If they're still sitting there, like they're uncut, I think sapphires that I got.
That's cool.
They were cool.
So how many years did you, you know, growing up in North Carolina, how old were you before you moved away from there?
I was 18.
Okay,
Yeah, that's
So
when
you spent-
enlisted in the Marine Corps.
gotcha.
I'm gonna grab the second one.
So-
real quick.
Yeah, so as Simon is grabbing another Scotch ale from Founders Brewery, we're just gonna get a little plug to our sponsor. Founders Brewery, one of the greatest Michigan microbreweries, or what you would call an independent brewery in Michigan. It's a favorite by many people, and you can find Founders throughout the state when you're shopping at one of your favorite places to get beverages. Ah, he's back. All right, I was just doing a commercial.
Perfect. Hopefully you get sponsored by them. I'll be upset with that.
Yeah, we'll be like, look,
Hire me for a job.
order for us to accept you as our sponsor. We're gonna need a few things to
If you-
sample.
Yeah, I know.
So sorry. Maybe we'll even make a pilgrimage to your brewery and do one of our episodes in the brewery, you know, if we have to.
My joke is always, anytime someone asks me like how I enjoy my job, like, oh, I enjoy it. You gonna be here for a while until I get an offer for, you know, whiskey tasting and being an artist.
I like how you put those two things together,
Yeah, you know,
whiskey tasting and being an artist, because you can't have one without the other.
I don't know. Well, it just
Just-
makes it more fun.
It makes it way more fun. That's why, so we just taught the class, not even like 40 minutes ago. So everybody was in this room and it was crowded and we were drawing the skeleton. We're doing the rib cage today from the side view and the back view. And then everybody hightails it out, and this is the afterglow. And we're turning our afterglow into an episode for you guys. So when the weather was a little bit warmer back at the beginning of September, we were outside in the parking lot doing what we called a tailgate. So it was an artist's version of a tailgate, but now the tailgate is inside. So I don't know if
It's like
it's still
40 degrees outside.
yeah, it's pretty cold out there. So we love the comfort of being in here, Moose Tree, for our tailgate. Does this still constitute as a tailgate, even though we're indoors?
Yeah.
Okay, it's an indoor tailgate. That's what we call it. Cheers to that for your second brewski.
Mhm.
So here's what I want to know. I just told you that North Carolina, I have an aunt that lives there. I've taken my family there multiple times for vacations. We love the Smokies. We love going to the Nantahala River and doing the whitewater rafting. Have you done that?
I did that when I was a kid with my dad.
Okay, so give me one of your fondest memories of North Carolina from that time of your life. Like when you think back to growing up there, what's one of your fondest memories of that place?
Mm. I worked with my dad, I think ever since I was like 10 or 11 during the summers. He owned his landscaping company and worked with him. You know, it was summers in Wilmington, North Carolina, which is like sand, gravel, hot. It was a good time. And in my dad's side of the family, we learned to play cards when we were very young. Like really young. As soon as you're able to sit in your own chair, you learn to play cards.
What are some of the games?
Texas Hold'em, Buck'em, Bellies Up. Oh, casino. I remind you, if you ask me how to teach, I couldn't teach right now to the general rules. Genuinely, but
Wow. What about around here? They love euchre.
yeah, never heard it till I got here.
Yeah, good old Michigan.
But so we'd work through the day, and then there would be poker nights throughout the entire week. It was a league they played in with like points and whatnot. And I've been playing cards since I was like 6. And so my dad took me in there, because he plays in this league. And I was there, and he was like, "Oh yeah," and he signed up, and I'm like 10 at the time. And I remember this one person was like, "I mean, is he any good? And you beat you, sign him up." And then they told me like, no matter like you can get placed, but you can't write your name on the place. Like someone else can get it. And I played for a bit, got pretty good, learned how to play here and there, and I loved it. I love playing Texas Hold'em. It was just a lot of fun.
And you got good at it.
Yeah, I got really decent at it.
Wow.
I do remember the first time I won a game. I won against this older woman. She was so upset that I beat her. I was doing really good from the start of the game, and I just kept building and building and building and got to her. It was just one-on-one, final table, and like I'm like 13 or 14 at the time. And I had good hand. Okay. I kept making her, call my raises, kept pushing her. And I was hoping she'd get out so I could just nickel and dime her out, but she kept going. I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna make you go all in. And she took her chips and fine, take them. They threw them at me.
Oh my
And she walked away, and I smoked her. She was so upset.
Oh my gosh.
But the thing was, is like, so I still wasn't in the league because I was only like 13 or 14. So she still got first place. But the fact that she lost to me upset her.
Oh,
Great
my
memories.
gosh. But you have bragging rights.
Oh yeah.
What's up with these young people actually like, getting good at these things and figuring stuff out at a young age and then surpassing the elders who have been playing this stuff for 50 years. And then as a greenhorn, come in and snatch up all the prize money. What's up with that?
I mean, a lot of it's just luck too. That was just kind of a big thing of it. You have good. What was it? Texas Hold'em is the easiest game to learn, but it takes a lifetime to master.
Wow.
And it's gonna be a balance between having good luck for the night. If you have good luck but bad skill, you're not gonna do well. Most times it's gonna be in the middle. You're gonna have bad luck and good luck, depending on your skill is gonna need to adjust.
You heard it first, right here at Alizarin Cafe. We're going to end our episode. So cheers to our good friend Simon, but we're going to get Simon back. A double dose of Simon, folks. We're going to bring him back for another episode. So right now, we're going to wave goodbye. We'll say, see you guys. Thanks so much for joining us. And we'll see you again on our next episode.